Yes,
Firstly, thank you, Minnie. Thank you for adding that hint of fresh air after every session. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. Okay, myself, Tasneem, and this is Gautam with me. We are from SAP Labs. We work as information developers. And our topic for today is people-centric approach. Now, before I dive into, what is people-centric approach and what are the advantages of people-centric approach, I would like to give a brief background information as to why we actually came to this kind of an approach. Like all of us, we write documentation, we deliver technical information to our customers. But how much of our information is actually understood by our customers? And what are their different emotions? Have we ever tried to understand that? Do they all feel same when they read their information? No. We always feel that, okay, this is the mood and this is how they need to be instructed. They are machines and we need to tell them, command them, do this, do that, and do this. This is what you have. But this is something that our customers did not like. We tried interacting with our customers and we tried to understand what they really want. So we had this continuous interviews and surveys with our customers, and they told us we don't like instructions. We don't like to be treated as machines. So give us something that is a little more polite, a little more nicer, but still adhering to your standards and guidelines. So that's the point where we came to, actually having this people-centric approach. So I would like Gautam to give you a little more information on this. So,
yeah, thanks, Tasneem. So, just to add a little bit to what she told, documentation is a deliverable. So, let's not consider we are information developers, so we are just passing the knowledge on to the customers as to how the product has to be used. So since we are investing, there's a cost involved. We also try to analyze why the documentation is not consumed, and the trends are changing. Products are also changing. You see cloud applications being used and applications being very intuitive. I mean, have anyone used Facebook help or Twitter help? They do have a help for your information, but nobody has used it because it's so intuitive. And that is when we thought, why can't we contribute to that and bring up some sort of help, or maybe contribute to the UI text where we actually assess the customers in trying to achieve their objective, but at the same time we also try to reduce their dependency on the documentation. This might seem like a very radical idea because of the profession that we are in, but maybe that is the way forward because the trends are evolving. I would like to quote an example of error messages. Nowadays we have users who come from different technical backgrounds. So for an administrator, when you say there is an error like 404 resource not found, he can relate to it, like saying the resource fetch from the server has not happened, so there must be something, and he can troubleshoot that. But if it is a user who doesn't have the technical knowledge, you would want a little more information, like see troubleshooting guide, or and probably refer to the configuration steps or something like that, a little more information which we never think of. So this is the feel factor that Tasneem was talking about. And error messages also, 404 not found, seems very in the face, like they might not get a very good feeling of the application, which is very important. I mean, if you interact with the marketing colleagues, they tell you how important it is the customer feel is for the product to succeed in the market. So that is when we try to analyze and provide help in a way that the customer wants it. An example I would like to quote is a travel application where agent is trying to book a ticket for a customer, and then she gets stuck in a particular step because these travel applications can tend to be intensely complex. I mean, you might know, some of you might have worked with it. So what we thought was the agent will not have a lot of time to read through the troubleshooting steps. So yeah, I'll take a minute more if possible. Yeah. Okay. So we thought we'll give a video instead of a guide. So a guide with 20 steps might take say 2 or 3 minutes for the agent to read, then analyze, and then implement those troubleshooting steps. But if it is a 20-second video, she'll right then see the application there and they'll get to know what to do. So like this, this was a very innovative idea at that point of time, and when we gave it to the customers, we received very positive feedback. So it is being implemented to the newer line of products in SAP, but some of the traditional products you might experience a little bit of difficulty in implementing it, but I'm sure we can come up with ways because I mean, there's a solution always, and I heard a lot of people telling that our profession, something about dying and all is very morbid. So, what I can tell you is, I mean, we just have to consider ourselves as someone who's helping the end users rather than writing just documentation. Help can come in any form, so you have to try to interact with the product and make it a little more intuitive. That way, you're adding more value to the product. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Gautam. Thank you, Taslima. Okay. Next and the final one that we have is Surag, who's going to talk about fiction writing for kids. Thereafter, I would request you all to join us in Trinity Hall 1. We have the final goodbye thing. So, thank you very much.
Hi. My name is Surag and I am working as a senior documentation manager at Oracle. I am also the author of a story series for kids. Its name is Feppu and Pitti. I write for a magazine called the Children's Magazine. So that's my night job. So the thing is like, so I'll just tell you how I got into this, why I am doing this, and really am I making any money out of it. And if you have some kind of a passion, how can you really merge with your day job? And it's like, feel happy about it. So it's like when you become a parent, that is you do many things that you didn't do earlier, or some things that you forgot that you did earlier. So for example, watching the cartoons. So when I started watching cartoons, when I became a parent, I just found out that there is a kind of a whole lot of difference in the cartoons nowadays. The kind of cartoons we saw, those Mickey Mouse, the Tom and Jerry kind of things are still there. But unfortunately, there are certain cartoons which are like so much, even violence intensive kind of cartoons. And it's like unnecessarily mixing the mythology. Chota Bheem and Krishna, kind of those kind of things. I wasn't actually, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I wasn't really comfortable with that. So it's like my son used to ask me for more and more stories. I used to come up with certain stories. It became popular, not just with him, with the neighborhood kids. My neighbors, they used to say, why don't you send it for some magazines? I started doing that, and slowly they became became a hit. I don't know whether it's a hit because it's like I write them regularly, so I think it should be a hit there. So it's like, it's like how you really do this kind of a thing. Nobody can teach you to write a story. It's a creative process. But I'll just tell you certain tips of doing that. It's generally have certain characters and have certain conflict in their life. Okay? And then how they solve that conflict. Okay, generally limit to one conflict because you are writing short stories for kids. You are not writing a novel. So if it is a novel, you can have multiple conflict, multiple ways of solving them kind of a thing. And generally tend to make it positive. Okay, it's like once again I said, I'm not really a big fan of those violent kind of cartoons. But generally tend to make those things positive. It's like some kind of a lesson that they can learn out of it. And if you choose to make the animals as the heroes of their stories, as I used to do, one fact is, you know, many of the animal stories were told by Aesop and Panchatantra. Okay, so the animal stories are out there, but still you can bring in the newer elements. They used to tell the stories when animals really roamed in the jungle. Even now they are roaming out, but when the people really saw those animals, so that the kids can really relate to that. But another way is like having superheroes. Yes, they are always there. And also certain characters which the kids can relate to, somebody of their similar age kind of a thing. So it's like generally start with those characters, have certain conflict in their life, how they solve that, and something positive kind of a thing. And generally clicking with a publishing house that is sending to a magazine and how to make it click. Even there's a lot of competition which I really found when I entered this field. There are certain people who are doing it in a regular basis kind of a thing. So one of the tricks is, or if possible, try to make it a series rather than a one-off story. That is, if it's a one-off story, it's like you have to continuously write one-off stories and then somehow get into this kind of a thing. So try to make it a series so that people really wait for what's happening next kind of a thing. The same mentality that the serial kind of people work to do. So then whether you really make much money, actually I make some money out of it, but I'm still a documentation manager, senior documentation manager. It doesn't substitute that. But if you really want to make some money out of it, one of the ways is to syndicate them. Syndicate means those kind of cartoons that you see today, that is Dilbert cartoons or any of the cartoons, it's like they don't send, or Scott Adams is still the copyright owner of that. So they send it to certain syndication companies who syndicate to all over the world. So, and the money sharing is almost 50-50 kind of a thing. So that's how it's like, so it's like just live your passion, go ahead with that, and if possible, and if you really want, you can make money out of it as well. So all the best. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much. It was really nice. I think it's given us a way that we can find something to do in the night. And earn some extra money, not to forget that. Okay, so we have something set up in Trinity Hall 1. So I think that's the last final goodbyes. Please don't cry. So we'll see you there.